Aku bagi contoh lah. Recently we came out with a video. Kita tulis itu 3 motor kari.
Yes.
Okay. Kari ni satu dunia tau. Kalau kita cerita pasal kari, it's India. Kalau Tom Yum, definitely it's Thailand. Betul. Some say that it's racist. I was like,
pada saya lah kan, itu perhubungan yang sumbang mahram already. It's incestuous. Sebab
sumbang mahram.
No. In the sense that, so ingat tak masa Toyota launch Unser?
Answer tu.
Answer.
Okay, alright.
Aku ingat lagi Faisal dia punya artikel ending summary. Toyota has come out with an answer to a question that nobody asked. I miss that, right? But no, the point I was trying to make was, you see, that's how we used to write. Never, ever, ever try and manage a crisis on social media.
Assalamualaikum, apa khabar? Hezerisamsuri, ketemu kita lagi di dalam podcast Tanya Direct dan bersama dengan saya hari ini adalah tetamu. Personally, ini tetamu cukup istimewa. Saya mulakan kerjaya saya, banyak juga saya berhubung kait dengan dia jugalah. Banyak juga dia membantu. Bersama dengan saya hari ini ialah rakan saya yang saya dah kenal lebih 20 tahun dah kot. Dah dekat 30 tahun benda kot. Vijayaratnam Tharumartnam. Ataupun lebih dikenali sebagai VJ. Now, brother VJ kita ni, dia ni masa aku kenal dia dulu, dia dengan BMW Malaysia. Dan ini ialah dalam rasanya awal tahun 2000. So, kita boleh tanya direct kepada VJ. Apa yang kita nak tanya hari ni ialah banyak juga sebenarnya. Selain daripada fungsi media, ya basically ekosistem media dalam dunia otomotif sekarang sudah banyak berbeza daripada zaman dulu. Saya mulakan kerjaya saya dengan surat khabar dan kemudian magazine dan sekarang online. Daripada menulis berbelas tahun, sekarang kena buat video, macam-macam lah. And VJ was there since the very beginning. So, dia ni kita kira orang lama lah. Dan saya banyak belajar daripada dia, daripada segi komunikasi dan apa semua. Sebabnya ialah media dengan syarikat otomotif, dia memang kena bekerjasama. Okay, dia nak jual produk dia dan kami pula, kami nak konten dan kami nak sampaikan benda yang betul kepada pembaca-pembaca. Dan kami ni, kalau zaman dulu orang surat khabar ni susah nak kena belilah. Jujur cakap lah, kita orang tak pandang duit. Kita orang bukan kaki bisnes. Sebab tu kita orang tak ramai yang kaya pun. So VJ, thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak-banyaklah kerana datang ke studio ringkas kami ni. Sudi menjadi tetamu Tanya Direct. And bro, I learn a lot from you.
Well, listen, first of all, saya rasa bangga sitting here because, you know, dah berapa dah? Nearly 30 tahun 3 dekad. Dan sebenarnya kita mula bekerjasama sebelum BMW. Masa tu Ford klien saya, ingat tak?
Yes, Ford. Betul, Ford, betul.
So,
Ford concessionaires.
Yeah, I mean, the respect and the admiration is mutual.
Yeah. Tapi VJ kan, okay, let's start from the very beginning lah. Kampung kat mana ni VJ?
Oh, saya sebenarnya orang Johor.
Tahu, Segamat
Segamat, tapi dilahirkan di Muar.
Lahir dekat Muar?
Ya.
Lepas tu Segamat?
Lahir di Muar oleh kerana pada masa tu I was the first grandchild. So datuk saya, dia tak trust hospital Segamat sebab tak ada specialist.
Yalah, dulu Segamat pakai kecil lah.
No,
pakai kecil.
it was just nearby. So saya dilahirkan di Segamat and then
di Muar?
Dilahirkan di Muar, tapi all my education was all the way up to Form 5 di Segamat lah.
Segamat sekolah mana ni?
Sekolah tinggi Segamat.
Oh, Segamat High School.
Yes, tahun depan 100 years.
Yeah. Wow. So sekarang duduk KL lah?
Dah lama dah lah. So you know, after finishing studies and everything.
What was the first company yang you kerja?
The first company was Syarikat Television Malaysia Berhad.
Oh, TV3.
Yeah. So
apa?
saya mulakan kerjaya saya sebagai broadcast journalist lah. Dan saya jadi penerbit, ada beberapa rancangan dulu. Then saya masuk documentary, ada buat infomercial. Banyak lah. So you could say that masa itulah saya belajar the art of storytelling, how to communicate. But again, within kerangka jadi journalist lah. So you understand there's a big difference. Lepas TV3 saya join Petronas. Dan masa tu saya jadi executive producer untuk Petroscience. Saya kenal Petroscience.
Yes, of course.
So itu saya rasa lah dari segi pride kan, bangga kan. It was the first
Science
OMG museum of its kind in the world.
In the world.
In the world at the time. And we had an American company producing it. Itu was crazy days lah. Sebab masa tu kita tak ada infrastructure content di Malaysia. Jadi content, walaupun kita yang produce, saya punya team semua duduk di Singapura, di Hong Kong, di Philippines, di Australia. And masa tu mana ada Zoom, Google kan. So kerja saya merayau, kerja ni, kerja sana. Actually saya ingat lagi, I flew to Japan for 24 hours. Maknanya masuk pagi tu, keluar malam untuk dapatkan laserdisc. Sebab content dalam museum tu kena gunakan at the time lah the highest quality was LD kan. Tapi because of content restrictions and then Japan strict apa tu, my boss said, I don't care, you go and get it and come because Tan Sri wants to see it on the next day. So I flew to Japan, got in the morning, went chase the guy, pergi factory LD tu, ambil LD, pegang bag semua tak. I mean I think I had a backpack and I flew back to Malaysia and it was really funny kan sebab at one point there's a lot of content in the museum and there was one part I don't know if you know there was a helicopter there.
There was.
Okay. So the helicopter video we had to shoot. Right? And masa tu kita gunakan MHS, Malaysia Helicopter Services.
Okay.
So dia ada Sikorsky S61 masa tu. Okay, you know I'm a
Yeah.
So you go to Dulang, sit all that. It's really cool kan. Then I had a particular shot in mind. Shot saya nak, you know macam Miami Vice lah. Over the water and then tiba-tiba you see the rig kan. So the captain was ex-TODM.
Okay.
Classic lah. Slim, rambut short, jaw tapi he's a guy I won't get into a fight with lah.
Okay.
So then I said, silap saya lah. Captain, I understand, you know, the Nuri is not really the sort of aircraft that's going to be able to do this. But this is the kind of shot I want. Triggered, brother tu. Masuk. So masa tu cameraman saya, who was it? Forgotten his name. Another tough guy lah. Dia pegang camera, open door. First question. You guys want to do open door? Close door. Open door. Okay, open door. Pacak, masa tu tak ada ni. We didn't have a stay, right? So he's holding on to the camera. Strapped.
Kita tak ada gimbal lah.
Tak ada. Mana ada gimbal. Strapped him. Masa tu baru nak nampak steady cam. Strapped him. I held on to him. Camera strapped. We were all strapped together. And we went and then we started. And first was okay. First run we were like, okay, all right lah. And then Captain looked at us. Are you happy? Captain, would be nicer if we... I understand that the angle of attack is a bit difficult. He says, I'm the pilot. You tell me the shot. Went back, second round, masa tu dia naik. And then I started to get scared, right? Because I was like, bila dia nak pull up ni? Bila dia nak pull up? And we came out and bro, you cannot imagine that a Nuri S60 or Sikorsky could pull up like that. Tak boleh percaya. The best part of that story is my cameraman hilang kasut dia. Masa dia naik, kasut terbang. I don't care about the kasut. I just care about the camera. And yeah, so that whole sequence in the helicopter was actually shot by us out there. Anyway, lots of interesting stories. The cultural side that we did kan, macam we had a puppet master, wayang kulit, and we decided to do one sequence all as a wayang kulit.
Okay.
So that whole scene where you and there was ada unsur-unsur Ramayana.
Okay.
So macam the evil guy, the good guy, how to save oil, all that lah, all these crazy things we did. And it was groundbreaking at the time.
I still think it is. I think itu antara tempat yang memang saya bawa. Semua anak saya pernah pergi situ.
Yes,
Sebab saya memang suka pergi museum pun.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so from Petronas,
what was the first car company? Ford.
well, my first client was Ford. Yeah. So and that's how I terjerumus ke dalam PR lah. Sebab masa jadi journalist tu selalu berjumpa dengan work with PR guys kan. And then after I met them, I said, kalau Mamat macam ni boleh buat kerja ni, aku pun boleh lah. So I started in tech PR, and then one of my first automotive clients was Ford. And masa tu actually timing saya fantastic lah. Sebab masa tu lah Ford tengah up. Richard Kenny, Splash keluar, kan tiba-tiba
Ranger
trajectory. So
dia dah jadi lifestyle
dah
sikit.
jadi, yes. And saya rasa I am very grateful to Ford kan, sebab masa itulah saya belajar sistem. Kita kena lihat bahawa company yang lama, walaupun jenama tu macam kita kata Ford, you know, Ford is like Timex, not sexy. Tapi you have 80, 90, 100 years of history. Maknanya dia dah hone and perfected the system of communication. So I learned many things from Ford, how to do that. Of course, working with you guys kan, itulah where banyak idea yang keluar. Sebab you guys selalu, kenapa tak buat macam ni, kenapa tak buat macam tu. And as a newbie, my advantage was, actually kenapa tidak? You see, one of the advantages when you are a newbie kan, you don't have fixed ideas kan. So, okay, let's try. So all the crazy things that we used to do.
Less pressure pun. Less pressure lah kalau kau newbie.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Ada pressure juga because you also feel like, you know, there's imposter syndrome. Right? You go and sit in the mood like, wow, you don't want to sound stupid. But I think there was a great, it was a golden era for me, learning, because you also had heavyweight, otai, Mel, Chips, Yamin, you know, all those guys, that whole style. And there was a buzz. Sebab ingat tak, up till about early 2000s, kita punya automotive industry dari segi media sambar aja. Because not much had been happening. Suddenly there was an awakening of other brands. The Japanese, Ford, obviously the Europeans. Kan? So there was a lot of interest, and I think that was, I had a great opportunity at Ford. My CV built up, and that's when BMW came calling.
Itulah, tapi with BMW, dengan BMW VJ, you memang orang tahu VJ BMW. How long were you with BMW?
Actually not that long. It's about 7 years.
Tapi those 7 years were 7 important years. Ramai yang tak tahu sebenarnya BMW E60 5 Series tu, global launch was in Malaysia.
Yep. So, okay.
You were involved?
Yes. No, I mean, I would say, bila kita jadi consultant, so sebelum tu saya di Ogilvy kan, bila kita jadi consultant, tak kisahlah whether client dia Ford ke GSK, RHB, doesn't matter. You are always bridesmaid, never the bride. Maknanya kita boleh bagi idea, buat macam ni, buat macam tu, tapi at the end of the day, client yang pilih kan.
Betul.
So when I got the opportunity to start at BMW, I said, wah, put your money where your mouth is. Sebab it was a white sheet of paper.
True.
So in those years, I had thought of, I said, you know, I think we should do this. I think we should do that. All these ideas, kan? And I got an opportunity to do it. And I was also very lucky because the team at BMW, I must really credit my boss at that time, Schlimmer. You all know him. He was the right man for the right time because he came in and he said, guys, we have 3 years. In these 3 years, we've got to do something. And if we don't, forget it. We're not going to take off. Sebab ramai orang tak ingat masa dulu BMW was the Mercedes tengok BMW macam adik. We like BMW. Sebab kita tak ada serious street cred. BMW 3 Series, young boys, racers, banyak masuk workshop. Tapi bila you became adult, ikhlas. Saya ingat lagi, we were having a big meeting and Roland Roland dalam meeting tu, bang table. Mr. Slimmer, let me put it to you this way. Until the Chinaman sees the 5 Series as equivalent with the E-Class, we have no business.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Which is true. Memang betul pun.
And then, because at that time, we were selling, untuk every satu 5 Series, Merc sold 4 E-Class. Okay. I mean, today, 5 Series is a de facto made-it car. Masa tu tak ada. So, the early years were dia macam, how shall I put it? There are different kinds of managers. Ada some managers yang suka pioneering spirit. Maknanya dia masuk hutan, fight with the animals, tebang pokok, apa. Those were the early days of BMW. By 2009, things were ready. We moved it to one platform. It was then anjakan lah, the next level, kan? And yeah, we did some crazy things. I think one of the highlights was when we did the 8 cars, 1 soul, right? Where so it had never been done before. And so let's be clear, none of these things I think is very clever. Huh? It's just, if you spend enough time on a subject, you will know, hey, here's a gap. Why don't we try this? And I was lucky because my boss allowed me the freedom gave me enough rope to hang myself lah.
Ya, tapi zaman tu, Malaysia ni memang, okay lah, dia macam ni lah. Kita ada satu sindrom lah. Malaysia ni, orang Malaysia ingat kita ni dah besar tau. Sebabnya ialah, kita memang ada, how do I say this politely ya?
Since when have you been polite?
Direct lah, sebab tu nama dia tak payah direct. Kita ni, media kita memang kita momokkan bahawa Malaysia ni the best in the world lah. Okay? For example, our own brand Proton lah. Okay? Typical Malaysian, dia akan ingat Proton tu dah cukup canggih apa semua tu. In reality, we know where the brand stands. Dululah. Okay? So, but what BMW did back in those days was actually to bring the world to Malaysia actually. Bagi orang tahu Malaysia is another country where not only that we assemble BMW cars, but it's another country that you should consider to come. Of course kita dah ada F1 zaman tu, kita ada KLCC apa semua tu. But for a car company, actually before that kita ada satu juga, bukan global launch tapi press launch from Kawasaki.
Yes.
It was done in Malaysia juga.
It was the ZX10. No.
ZX10 ke ZX12. I can't remember lah, but one of those lah. Memang kita dah ada.
You know we are showing our age when you say these things.
Oh God. It was in the 90s. Tapi memang betul lah. Even sekarang ni pun sebenarnya kita ada tak besar lah press launch ke apa ke, kita ada, because there is this one global car company which is based in Malaysia, Bufori.
Yes.
So Bufori akan bawa masuk juga media-media, cuma dia company kecil so tak nampak. But kalau report daripada media luar, test drive kereta ni pertama ada yang dibuat di Malaysia pun. But that was the beginning bro, and I still remember you all launchkan E60 tu, korang buat satu marquee tent besar depan Mandarin Oriental. And then you invited this international group, Safro Duo.
Oh yes.
Safri Duo, ya. Main gendang, percussion. And masa tu kita orang rasa macam, wah, inilah lain. Sebab selalunya kita dapat rasa pergi overseas. Tempat Mak Saleh. But having that here in Malaysia, you tak tahu betapa bangganya kita orang media ni benda tu buat dekat sini tau.
Okay. Saya rasa kita, as Malaysians, kita memang kritik yang paling teruk lah.
I think that's
of our own country, kan?
No lah, I think it's the same also lah.
Okay. But it's and I realised masa tu ada sekali we were having a media lunch dengan Star. Masa tu Boss Star something, and then biasalah, tiba-tiba bos aku tanya, why are you guys so negative? This is such a great country, blah 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 blah. Lepas tu fikir, actually so in that sense, I suppose that was a good thing. I mean, but let's be honest. There was also great respect sebab you guys, I hate to use this term, tapi you guys were world class, as automotive media. Cuba fikir sekejap. Cuba fikir cara news was reported about cars, car reviews.
Back in those days, yes. Sebab kalau kita bandingkan dengan negara lain,
nowhere.
Thailand, Indonesia zaman tu memang tak. Konvoi daripada Malaysia selalunya paling ramai lah.
Yes, that also I had to fight. The early years. Anyway, different story. But the point is, maybe perkara yang paling ketara, kita kena ingat bahawa Malaysia, kita sebenarnya car nation tau.
Ya, betul.
Kita memang car loving nation. Betul. Cuba fikir 60-an, 50-an, no other country had as many cars as my grandfather. He was a government, so he had several cars. I mean, meaning, he had a few cars. All my uncles, the parents, you grew up with, memang makanan ruji tau, kereta. As I was mentioning earlier kan, saya ingat lagi masa my father's youngest brother, he bought his first car. Dia orang baru start kerja lah. Masa tu 78, 77. Dia bawa balik Mitsubishi Colt Gallant. Bapa aku, the elder brother semua keluar, what is this tin tok. Sebab masa tu Fiat, Ford. So that transition. But the point is, we have been a car nation for a long time. So saya rasa mungkin semangat itulah yang the Mat Salleh kat BMW dia capture. Dia lihat yang kita ada that kind of spirit which mirip dengan orang Jerman sikit lah.
Tapi memang betul pun, kalau kita tengok balik pun, one of the proof lah to show that kita ni kaki kereta kan. Kalau zaman dulu, you remember not this comic gila-gila?
Yes.
Kita ada Zainal Buang Husin, gambar-gambar kita Jafar Taib dalam tu, gambar kita the Alphas, masa tu lah memang untuk kita orang ni.
Bro, masa kita dulu, masa kita growing up tu, kereta polis Alphasan.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, okay.
Ni kita ada, kita zaman dulu ni.
Yes.
The brake batu-batu ni.
240 GL. That was the government standard issue. Kalau I don't know lah what it was.
I can't remember this one. Tapi yang saya ingat apa tau? The 360 Volvo. Yang kecil.
I used to call it the piglet. That is the ugliest thing ever created kan.
I agree.
Anyway.
Memang langsung tak ada creativity in terms of design.
It was just...
But anyway, having said design, you hidup dalam dunia di mana semasa itu BMW teruk kena kritikan.
Yes.
Because of the BMW E60, design dia yang cukup pelik. Sekarang lain. Sekarang kita ada budak-budak baru yang cakap kereta tu cantik. Zaman tu, from the E39 pergi E60, ya Allah bro, teruk gila. Kita orang pun tak tahu nak cakap.
Cut to the chase. There was one reason for that.
Yeah, what was it?
Chris Bangle.
And Chris Bangle,
his name became a verb
to
be bangled.
Yeah, banglerize the car. Dan Chris Bangle adalah sahabat anda sampai hari ini. Yes. Untuk orang yang main kereta, yang minat kereta daripada zaman 90-an sampai ke tengah tahun 2000, Chris Bangle adalah satu nama yang cukup besar. Until today pun, if you ask me, he's one of the legends.
Saya rasa dia lah first rockstar car designer.
Yes, exactly.
Kan? Sebelum tu you never tak pernah nampak, tak pernah dengar lah.
Kita adalah uncle-uncle tadi lah,
tapi dia
Bertoni apa semua ni. Yes. Dia cool, he's American.
Yeah.
Tapi dia, cara dia, dan dia berani bro. E60 tu, to be frank with you, took some years to get used to that shit.
Absolutely.
The Z4 zaman tu.
That's when he came out with the bookends kan.
Yeah.
And he had the Z96 on the one side and then this way. Okay. Saya rasa, and obviously we spend a lot of time on this. Saya ada insider story. E65 was being launched dekat Germany somewhere. Masa tu, one of the senior board members siapa was arriving. Dia arrived dalam 7 of the time, which was E38. Ada seorang very senior person dalam BMW commented to another senior person, tengok betapa cantik kereta ni, the E38, dan lepas ni kita kena pergi tunjuk this American shit,
the E65 7 series.
Which, okay, so this is how Chris explained it to me. Dia kata design evolution kan, dia ada phases. So sometimes you follow a path, tapi once in a while you have a break point, anjakan. And his view of it lah, if you remember masa tu millennium, Y2K, all kinds of things. So when you are when you feel a little bit insecure, generally what do? You go back to your past. You look at the boys from Stuttgart, you remember? The round lights, right? And his POV was, no, we will not go back to the past. We need to go forward, right? And that's when, so like all those matchbox-looking cars, you are absolutely right. It was very hard, but I think strategically, yang cara dia buat secara, ada fasa. So, 6, Okay, tak apalah. Itu wildcard car kan sebab how many are you going to sell?
Yeah.
7. Oh. Then 5. By the time you come to the main sale, 3 series, you've accepted it.
Yeah,
But
true.
I was having this conversation with him once. I said, did you ever think that, and you have to honestly recognize that E60 flame surfacing design became the template for all cars that came after that for about a decade.
But I was told by you that flame surfacing tu bukannya satu term which was
Bukan.
coined by
Tak, it never came out of BMW or Chris, right? It was somebody else came on flame surfacing.
So it must be one of the journalists then.
I suppose it's macam ni lah, ultimate driving machine. Semua orang confused. Sebenarnya ultimate driving machine tu adalah campaign di Amerika Syarikat.
Oh.
Dia bukan slogan. The slogan for BMW has always been sheer driving pleasure.
Sheer
Freude
driving
Fahren.
pleasure, yeah.
So the flame surfacing thing and everything that came after that, I suppose, was, let's put it this way. Remember iDrive?
Yeah, I drive.
Right? Everybody's like, whoa, hello.
Until today ada orang pakai.
Welcome to the new world.
Mazda pakai lagi tau.
No, I mean in the sense that this idea of an interface, the concept that you were going to need an interface like that, mana ada dulu? Tak ada. It was so radical kan. So I think in that sense, you had that. So he explained it to me this way. He said, kita ada anjakan yang besar, lepas tu you evolution. Jadi macam E60 kan, bit by bit by bit. In its last iteration, when it was, masa tu G or F. What was the last iteration? G.
Apa?
5. The 5 series was
5
G.
series F kan?
F something.
F10.
No, after F, the last one was F10.
Oh, the last one? I can't remember.
Okay, anyway. Tapi lepas tu, you know that it morphs into the perfect shape lah. And I think that has been. So I want to just talk about design kan. So kita selalu yang most pengguna akan komen pasal design. Oh, cantik. Yang saya dah fahami, yang saya dah belajar kan over the years. Never go with your first instinct. Design tu you kena tengok over time.
Okay, fine. If you say that. Now, we have a barrage of cars from China. So your own words, kau cakap tadi you cakap tadi, kita tak boleh tengok mula-mula, kita kena tunggu, kita kena hadam ni lah. Kita kena hadam ni lah.
Okay.
So, what's your comment on this new design by these Chinese brands? Ada yang aku susah nak hadam tu, terang cakap.
Yeah. Okay, so mari kita bagi konteks dulu.
Okay, alright.
Tadi kita ada sebut pasal benda ni. You ingat masa the Japanese came out? What car Japanese? Betul tak? 70s,
Okay.
80s, yeah. They took a lot of flack kan. Sama lah macam TV. Dulu Telefunken,
Oh my
Grande,
God, ya Allah.
Philips.
Kita zaman bila.
Come on.
Okay.
Then bila keluar Japanese, malu tau kalau rumah kita ada Panasonic. Rumah kawan saya ada Telefunken.
Okay. So dia nak cerita pasal Jepun Tapi tak apa.
Okay, no.
Kejap. Kita kena break dulu.
Oh, sorry.
So, kita akan teruskan cerita dia. Kita dah dengar VJ cerita pasal kereta daripada China. After the break. Kembali semula kita ke podcast Tanyadirect bersama VJ. China cars, design. Kita sambung balik perang kita.
Straight up lah.
Okay.
White goods.
What do you mean by white goods?
So you know the term white goods?
Yeah.
Washing machine,
Peti sejuk.
fridge. Bagi saya,
kau tahu tak? Generasi kita je yang panggil fridge ni tau.
oh ya, sekarang dia pakai apa? Refrigerator.
Tak tahulah. Orang Melayu sekarang panggil peti sejuk.
Peti sejuk.
My time was like fridge je.
Pada saya tak boleh bezakan antara, ini adalah orang macam kita, satu daripada skill set kita lah yang kita paling bangga. Kita nampak dari jauh pun
Tak tahu kita apa.
Kita bukan saja what brand, model mana, what year, semua tu.
Ada sekali tu kan, ada kita ni kan, actually kita siap boleh tahu ni macam Proton, ni 1.3 ke 1.5.
Yes.
Kita boleh tahu.
Yes. Sebab the QQ yang kita, sekarang kan, saya tiap-tiap kali saya tengok, is that is that a XZ? Okay lah. Tapi saya summarize macam ni lah. Sekarang semua kereta modern ni, dia nampak macam daripada Nemo. Semua macam dugong. Semua macam doll. You know, literally the eyes, the thing.
Cookie cutters.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Apakah falsafah China?
I have no clue, bro.
Get something, make 1 million of them, 1 billion of them, make them cheap and keep them running. What is the trick to that?
Ke dia orang masih lagi tengah mencari identity? Okay, when they first came, their cars were like horrible. Okay, ni cerita zaman Cherry Alado A160 lah, which I drove.
Yeah.
I think I was one of the first media who drove the
Saya ingat lagi.
Malaysian punya spec. It was horrible. Okay, but now I myself, I have a Chinese car. I have the Xpeng. They have grown, most probably because of consultants. Kita dah ramai gila consultants kan, sebab tu dah tak ada company yang tak boleh buat kereta. Semua kereta boleh buat kereta, semua company boleh buat kereta, and then we have homologation. Mana kereta kena ikut certain standard, certain spec. So memang boleh buat. Tapi in terms of design, yang ni kita tak ada homologation, kita ada undang-undang apa semua tu. Design ni is something which is open. I can see that they try to infuse their traditional designs. For example, like dia punya pattern dia tu dekat insert grill dia apa semua tu ada lah. Which Proton akan tukar dan masukkan yang awan larat kita ke apa, and then setengah jam nak bercerita pasal benda tu lah. And yeah, you work for Proton juga sekejap.
Moving on very quickly.
Okay, but I think soon they will find their own character, but I do not know how soon.
So let's talk about that a bit. So my first thought is the current crop of EVs, and not just China, they all to me are homogeneous. That's why I said white goods. Saya susah nak bezakan antara satu dengan lain. Okay? Tapi, just like the Koreans, kita lah nampak ura-ura style, design, individual language.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. The Zeekr.
Oh, okay, alright.
Zeekr X.
That's China.
Nice.
Yeah, ZKX. I love ZKX.
It's a really cool looking car. And I think as they develop, sebab China punya style kan, and it's not just with cars, semua benda, dia akan masuk, bam. Dia tak ada macam, okay, Jepun punya style. Dia akan ambil satu benda tu, dia akan research sampai ke
screw lah.
And then, baru dia buat. China, tak ada. Just go. Make it. Kalau hancur, never mind. We let it go. We'll go on with the next one. So, they may not have the vertical straight away, but they're going all out. And it's working. I'll tell you why it's working. Forget about Malaysia. Kita tahu kan tahun depan, or is it next year or the year after, Mercedes akan menggunakan enjin daripada BMW.
Yeah, but they've been using engines from Renault pun dulu before.
But my point is, this is like PAS and DAP sitting down having a,
Okay.
So, what I'm coming to is, you cannot fight the China juggernaut.
Okay, Zeekr is a good example.
Okay.
Having said that, the chief designer is not Chinese. Same goes, tadi you mentioned Koreans. Well, siapa yang start dulu? Peter Schreier.
Exactly. Before he came there, whoever looked at the Kia kan?
Oh, yeah, true.
So, my point is that the Chinese are, saya gunakan perumpamaan daripada Star Trek lah.
Okay.
Kalau you fan Star Trek.
Not really?
Dalam Star Trek tu ada satu susuk yang dikenali sebagai the Borgs.
Okay.
Borg tu dia macam semi-human, tapi dia punya their character was, dia akan assimilate. Maknanya dia datang, dia jumpa kau, lepas tu dia assimilate. So, whatever dalam kepala kau, hati kau akan masuk dalam Borg.
Yeah.
And that is the Chinese philosophy. Dia tak malu, dia tak takut, dia go all out, dia masuk. And dia tak ada false pride tau. Macam kita Malaysia, I won't take.
Yeah. Bukan
dia
Malaysia
tak
je.
kisah.
Mak Saleh pun
Mak
sama
Saleh,
juga.
I'll never look at that.
Macam Porsche.
Yes.
Tak ada seorang pun pernah tiru Porsche.
Yeah.
Dia dengan iconic design dia.
Simple.
BMW, Mercedes, boleh tiru je. But they won't.
Of course not. So that Chinese thinking is what has driven China. Saya actually kita gunakan example yang ni lah. You ingat tak dulu kalau media drive, which is the last country or the last group of people will be invited to drive?
China.
Kenapa?
Dia hancurkan kita.
Dalam masa 10 tahun, okay lah, katakan 20 tahun, the largest automotive country in the world.
Yeah, true.
So I make fun of the design in the sense I may not be a fan of the early cars, right? Because they all have that very, it's hard for me to see. They are all so homogeneous. Semua nampak sama. Saya tak boleh beza antara BYD ke Xpeng ke at first. Tapi sekarang saya dah mula. Maknanya design sebenarnya bukan kita kena tengok design tau. Design itu akan mengajar kita. What do I mean by that? The design language will how shall I say? It will educate you lah. You will be forced to learn about it.
You get used to it. You accept it.
But it is not a passive thing. It's actually an active thing. It's an active process. There's a principle in computer gaming as well called Gargantua where you think you are playing the game. It's quite the opposite. The game is playing you because the game teaches you do like this, you do like that, you do like this, so you become part of the game. Sama dengan design language. Dia letak macam ni, dia letak macam tu. You have to be forced to come to deal with it. And then your mind, your synapses will fire up and think, okay, and it makes the justification. But the thinking is always the other way. I choose the thing. No, the design makes you.
I see. I tend to agree, but I'm more of a simple person lah. Aku rasa kita
the simple person who tried to change the Hofmeister King on the 7 series. Ingat tak? Kita pergi design studio masa buat claim model kau tukar.
Hofmeister King. Dogleg King. Okay. Aku rasa kan macam ni lah. Bila dia dah banyak, kita kena accept lah design tu. Cuma kena ingat jugalah kita datang daripada era yang sebelum ni. So the newer consumer, the newer
saya reda dengan benda tu. Sebab kita tak boleh jadi macam orang otai-otai yang kita dulu kutuk. Right? Maknanya design is evolving. If you gave me a choice, kereta saya akan nampak mirip 70s. Long nose, low back. Memang short end, wheels out far.
Yeah.
That's my desire. I will always love. Saya punya favourite form, coupe or estate. Okay, but that's just me. But the world moves on, and you have to appreciate whatever comes. And I used to be very critical in the beginning when I watch reviews. Now I'm like, is this a PC review or a car review? But guess what? That's the new world.
Oh, you're talking about EV reviews ah?
Not just EV, even modern cars. So much time is spent on, it's got Google Play, it's got this, it's got that, it's got 4 chargers. I'm like, what's that got to do with the car? Again, if I keep thinking like that, then I'm just going to be left behind. The world's changing. You move on with that, right?
Dia macam ni lah bro. Okay, this is how now I review cars lah. Macam mana aku review kereta sekarang kan. You see basically all those electronics, those gadgets apa semua tu, all the cars ada. Apple CarPlay dalam BMW sama dengan Apple CarPlay dalam Mercedes-Benz apa semua tu. Sama. Cuma yang beza dia ialah dia punya ergonomics.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that is why aku rasa BMW they have moved away from iDrive. Sebabnya ialah kita ada company macam Mazda. Dia masih lagi nak buat. Sekarang ni Mazda dia tak ada touch screen tau. That screen dah memang bukan touch screen langsung. You have to use the knob.
Correct.
The problem is benda-benda app macam Waze, Google Map, they were designed for touch screens. So bila kita ada benda-benda macam ni, ergonomik dia dah lari.
Sebab dia kalau dengan touch screen, you can go multiple layers. Kalau dengan tombol, how do you go? Each time you have to go in, come back out again.
Betul. Tapi kita ada reviewer yang tak sok brand. Yang ni yang masalah ni.
Okay.
Macam dengan aku tak sok.
Sekejap. Aku nak masuk. Ada perbezaan yang ketara di antara media, journalism dengan influencer.
Oh, let's go into that. Memang menarik. Okay.
First, saya kena declare. Saya ni penganut tegar Fourth Estate.
Okay.
Okay, kuasa keempat.
Fourth Estate ni macam Lando. Dia bukan media tapi dia satu lagi.
Yeah, no, but in the traditional sense, right? Apa ni, Edmund Burke yang came up with the concept. Yes, you have executive, you have parliament, you ada kehakiman, tapi media adalah the last bastion yang menjaga pengguna.
Betul.
Okay, so itu memang ideologi saya lah. Okay. So masa saya di BMW pun, cuba ingat, saya tak pernah have any conversation sama ada dengan awak ataupun sesiapa mengenai, bro, kenapa kau tulis macam ni? Tak pernah. Sebab
berani.
no, but because I respect the line between editorial and advertising, and BMW did that. Marketing, editorial. Copcom, marketing. Never the twain shall meet. Kan? So ada Chinese wall benda tu. So I could have conversations with you or anybody else which was free of, sebab jangan lupa, pada saya lah, kalau saya face of the company, saya kena keluar sana, saya kena jawab. Dalam hati saya fikir, kalau saya jadi pengguna, apa yang saya akan katakan pada dia? Kalau itu mak saya, bapak saya, am I going to be fair?
Yeah.
Can I live with myself? Dan ini adalah satu dilema ramai orang PR Copcom. There's a famous scholar in PR called two guys, Coombs and Halliday, and dia cakap PR comms guys are what they call boundary spanner. Ramai orang comms lupa tugas kita satu, yes, untuk menghantar message daripada company kepada pengguna, tetapi message yang lebih penting daripada pengguna kepada company, we are the voice, we are the last. Macam ni lah, saya selalu katakan that in all the companies I've worked at, I said, PR is the conscience of the company. Sebab saya tak ada dog in the fight tau. Saya tak ada produk, saya tak ada, macam engineering, yalah, dia ada dia punya ni. Finance dia punya ni. PR is only about one thing, it's the brand. So, anything that goes wrong with the brand is going to become my problem. And you got to be fair to people, right? So, I remember many times, you ingat tak, ada masa dulu, CBT ada syndicated column.
Okay, CBT ni ialah dalam surat khabar yang aku menulis selama 15 tahun. New Straits Times, dia ada sisipan permotoran, nama dia Cars, Bikes and Trucks. That's where I was lah for a long time. So
ada column, syndicated column daripada Clarkson.
Oh yes.
Okay.
So, dia tahu siapa vet through tak benda tu?
Saya tahu.
Aku punya kerja tu. Kau tahu tak dia tu bermasalah je kat zaman dulu?
Aku tahulah, we all used to look and say, ini budak Melayu ni kan. Dia macam the whole of I'll say it openly lah. How hard is Yamin working him? I hope he's really being paid very well. All we used to say. Tapi okay. So ada satu cerita Clarkson, and then of course lah Clarkson kan dia tibai, saya tak ingat which one ada, which BMW. Ada seorang director of sales, German. Oh, Vijay, we must call the editor and we must tell him. Aku relax je. I said, okay, Doctor something, I won't mention his name. When Automotif and Sport dissed our X3, did Mr. Gaul pick up the phone and call the editor? Terus senyap. Kan? So, tugas kita sebagai Copcom or PR adalah juga untuk educate your boss. Okay. Masa saya kat Proton dulu, and I have great respect for Dr. Lee because he listens kan. Okay, China style lain kan. China sebab ada berbilion orang. Every day dia nak keluarkan press release.
Betul tu.
Okay. So bila I first masuk, I tengok, then my team, oh ini berita ke ni? Newsworthy ke? So dia engineer, very smart guy. Macam mana saya nak convince dia? And of course lah, jangan lupa China tu press dia compliant. Kau apa yang kau keluarkan dia akan print aja. Okay, tak kisah. So aku buat graph, aku tengok number of releases Q1, number of releases Q2, number of releases Q3. Lepas tu aku tengok coverage. Then aku tunjukkan dia. So actually in Q1 you put 20 releases, kita dapat sekian-sekian coverage. You buat 30, kita dapat sekian-sekian. then you put 50 scan. It's a falling graph.
Yeah.
So the point is, what I'm trying to say, and then he immediately understood that, right? So the job of a PR guy is, if you don't have a CEO or marketing guy who understands how media works, it's your job to educate them and explain to them the media is not your personal, it's not your in-house publication. They are not supposed to be writing everything you say. So that brings me back to earlier influencers and all that. Media berpaksikan objectivity. It's also, there's a sense of cynicism. Actually macam okay, kita cakap husnuzon.
Husnuzon.
Pada saya lah, idea husnuzon untuk jurnalis adalah racun.
Okay.
You cannot. You have to approach it with some level of cynicism because everybody's trying to sell you something, whether it's a government guy or a private company.
Perli lah.
So the job of the journalist is to question that. Tapi dia berpaksikan this idea of journalism kan. Okay. Satu lagi, institusi tu. Ada rigor, ada disiplin, ada proses. So over years, you belajar how to write in a neutral way and you're always thinking pengguna. Readers. Betul tak? Okay. You cuba ingat, masa you first started, berapa cerita kau kena buang? Right?
Oh, banyak.
Yes, because you did. But after a while, you learn that style of writing. And kalau magazine, bukan semua lah. Of course, there were always funny publications. But by and large, there was a clear separation. You know about advertising, advertorial. Boleh, bayar. Tulis, besar, advertorial.
Yeah.
Review. And I'm a firm believer in that. Influencers, dia berpaksikan apa?
Duit.
Followers. Like, no, just be. It's there. Tapi, okay, inilah bahaya dengan influencers. Again, please, conceptually, saya bukan nak target siapa-siapa. When a pengguna reads an influencer or something, dia rasa macam, aku dengar kawan aku. There is an implied, he's my next door neighbor. So you trust it. Macam kawan kita dah, bro, jom kita pergi sini, kari laksa dia best. You buy it. There is an unsaid bro.
I see.
In the social media, betul tak?
Dengan aku tak lah because I can see beyond that already.
No, not of course not us, but the average pengguna. Somebody comes up and then dia nampak macam he just looks like any other guy. And so then there is this, and none of them, whatever else they tell you, has the professional training. And what I mean is you can be a brilliant car person. You may be better than us, you may be great writers, presenters. Yeah. But have you been through the rigor of journalistic training? And I think there are no rules for them. They can say whatever they want.
True. Tapi kan, kita nak tanya dekat VJ ni, just how effective actually media-media baru ni. So, lepas ni kita akan tanya dengan VJ sebagai orang lama, corporate com, orang lama buat PR. Kita nak tanya dia pasal genre-genre baru dalam dunia media sekarang. After the break. Okay. Segmen terakhir kita bersama dengan VJ. Kita bercerita tentang media baru. So, zaman dulu kita ada Friendster, Facebook. Kira yang, kalau zaman modern Facebook lah yang paling tua lah. But now we have so many and they are very powerful. Memang cukup power lah. Instagram, Twitter now X and whatever lah. WhatsApp, apa semua ni lah. So, VJ, in your capacity, you dah buat public relations dah lama ni kan. Oh, how do you see this? Because saya daripada menulis sampai sekarang ni, to be frank with you, alhamdulillah lah, saya boleh tukar lah.
Transition.
I can shift from ni ke video, boleh. Tak perfect tapi boleh. Cuma saya ada limitation juga. Saya tak boleh, I can't be like, there is a boundary, you know. I still think that my boss is my consumer. They are not really my friends, but they are my audience. So I respect them. How I was when I was writing. Tapi dalam dunia sekarang ni lain sikit. Sangat-sangat lain. what do you think? Is it any better, or is it helping the industry or consumer?
Okay, let's look at it from the first irony is, if you think about it, the revolution brought on by internet and social media has been fantastic for Malaysia's media.
Yeah.
Dari segi siapa? News, business, politics. Sekarang even now, bila aku baca headline, I say, fuh, ini 10 years ago ada orang masuk typing ni, or commenting. Betul tak?
Okay.
Sekarang free for all. Ironinya, in automotive dah terbalik. Automotif dulu, kalau whatever siapa, Toyota ke, BMW, Merc, betul-betul salah-salah kena bantai lah kan. Sekarang, the nexus is macam woke, so nice. Everybody's, pada saya lah kan, itu perhubungan yang sumbang mahram already. You know. It's incestuous. Sebab,
Sumbang mahram.
No. In the sense that bukan, yalah, it's not obvious kan. And that's why it's worse. Katakan, dia mulakan dengan, today I'm being paid by company X to do this car. No worries. Tak ada. Tapi dia akan wink-wink, smile-smile, bro. Come on, bro journalism. How many times have you got calls from a car? Bro, can you do this for me?
Many times, but
Okay.
I
No,
decline.
yeah, you do. You decline. Because you're coming from that era of being a journalist, of understanding there's a line to be drawn. That you have a amanah tau sebenarnya.
Ya, betul, memang
Menjadi
amanah.
seorang wartawan ni amanah yang besar. So, but these guys don't. So you get a lot of Johnny come latelys, and the worst of them is they try to be subtle, licik, very good. It's under. So my view is this will continue because it's easy, it's fast, and the marketers love it because aku sumbat je lah. Right? Sumbat, you will tell whatever I say. It's like a little robot. Turn the key. Very nice. But I have a contrarian view. That's going to change. Because people are sooner or later going to cotton on to the fact, hey, this guy, he's never said anything bad about anybody. Right? I give you a simple, I also miss the written word. This is something Faisal is going to get very angry with you. I talk about this.
Faisal ni kawan lama kita lah sekarang dengan Proton.
So ingat tak masa Toyota launch Unser?
Answer tu.
Answer.
Okay, alright.
And when it came out, semua macam, what the hell? Because it was basically an Indonesian...
Kijang.
Yeah, and doesn't meet safety standards, apa semua tu. Aku ingat lagi, Faisal, dia punya artikel, ending, summary. Toyota has come out with an answer to a question that nobody asked. I miss that, right? But no, the point I was trying to make was, you see, that's how we used to write. With the exception of a few commentators, a few presenters, siapa yang berani cakap macam tu?
Ada lagi. Tapi
No,
tak ramai.
that's why I said. And siapa? Semua otai. Maybe some of the younger guys also lah. But
Tapi, okay, dia macam ni. Kadang-kadang, kita tengok ada yang baru.
yes,
Dia cuba nak buat macam tu. Tapi dia tak faham dia punya the history behind it.
betul.
Design, for example. There's a reason why it's like this, it's like that, apa semua tu.
Betul.
Dan juga, macam mana nak cakap lah. Dia menulis ni lain. Bila bercakap, kadang-kadang susah jadi orang nak faham. Ataupun it's lost in translation.
Yes.
So, dia punya seni tu lain. Kadang-kadang kita nak cakap, macam menulis, kita tak nampak sangat, kita kurang ajar. Bila
Betul.
Bila bercakap, ada juga yang akan terdetik.
Yes.
Aku bagi contoh lah. Recently we came out with a video. Kita tulis itu 3 motor kari.
Yes.
Okay.
Ya.
Kari ni satu dunia tau. Kalau kita cerita pasal kari, it's India.
Ya.
Kalau Tom Yum, definitely it's Thailand.
Betul.
Some say that it's racist. I was like, but that video actually menunjukkan bahawa betapa terrornya India, company-company motor yang besar boleh datang situ, buat kat situ.
Tapi itu kan is also a condition created by this woke culture.
I don't understand. I don't understand this.
And again, I believe in respect. I believe in, but there's context. We know these things. But our generation could do it. We always, all our trips when we went out as a group, Malay fella, Chinese fella, Indian fella, and we will bantai each other to no end. I mean, we can't say this live, but you know how we used to talk.
Yeah.
And there was never any issue because we celebrated the quirks that we all had.
Yeah.
Right? It was fine because we all also knew where we stood. Today you are there's a philosopher called Baudrillard.
Okay.
And he came out with this idea called hyper reality long before internet in the 70s. And he said, he used the term media. Masa tu media belum ada internet or whatever. Hyper reality is a situation where the media makes something more real than reality, and people become more involved in fantasy than in reality. He said this in the 70s. You look it up,
Wow.
Jean Baudrillard. And for me, that's what it is, right? Because the last few days, I've been looking at the nonsense that's coming up.
I agree.
I do that because I'm doing some research in some of these areas. It's very interesting to see how society is segmenting. And the reality is, because you can hide under a cloak of anonymity, you don't know siapa yang bawa agenda dia. Apa yang di belakang tu. So in the same way, okay, like simple statistic, how many hours do you think Malaysians on average spend on the internet in one day?
No idea.
Just tembak, try.
Like 4 hours?
8 jam 17 minit.
8 jam?
Average.
Wow.
2024.
Okay. Wow.
And the bulk of that is on Sockman.
Oh.
Okay. Now, so the point I'm trying to make is this is what Baudrillard was talking about. That is reality for them. Some guy puts a sticker on his truck. He's a Mossad agent. I mean, listen, I'm just saying the kind of reactionary madness that goes on, because now the instigators have a great platform to throw the batu lah. Yeah. And these people terbawa lah. And the worst part is, dia macam setitik nila, you know. It's one or two guys everywhere. But people terbawa dengan benda ni. So the other thing is, when your curry example, somebody is waiting to cocok. You know?
Yeah, but the curry refers to India as a nation.
Absolutely.
Not Malaysian Indian
Absolutely.
pun.
No,
I don't understand that.
So when I saw I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail, and then I saw the bikes. I said, okay, he's comparing 3 Indian bikes. If you had said 3 motor tom yum, for example, would anybody have, you know?
I don't think so.
Or if you had said 3 kereta bakso,
Dim sum lah.
or dim sum, yeah, I mean, but I think you just have to learn how to navigate and accept that. Sebenarnya macam ni tau, kalau niat kita betul, orang kita tak payah, you know, don't, when you have a crisis, there's a guy called Coombs who came out with there's something called situational crisis communications theory. There are multiple ways to do these things. The best thing to do is just be upfront, be honest, but at a certain point, never, ever, ever try and manage a crisis on social media. You will die.
Is it?
Yeah.
So how? Macam mana? Okay, let's say for example, company A dia ada isu. So dia patut pergi ke social media ke ataupun macam
I'll give you a couple of examples. Macam case German Wings. Dulu ingat tak pilot tu crash dalam Alps 2015.
Okay.
German Wings gunakan internet sebagai update social media. Okay, we got this data, that was fine. Tapi dia tak masuk lain. If you want to inform, you know, maknanya it's an ongoing crisis. This happened, report that. Okay, let's give a real life example lah. Katakan ada explosion dekat factory.
Okay, alright.
So you will announce, because you don't want panic. You want to make sure the right data is there. So you'll say, this happened, we're doing this, bomber is here, we believe there are 20 people trapped inside, now we got 5 people. You keep updating because it's important for people to know, they're worried there's lives in danger, right? Now, my rule with handling a crisis on social media is inform, don't engage. Why don't engage? Because masa tu lah jembalang, hantu, toyol, semua akan masuk just to kacau you. And then dia akan bawa narrative. You nak follow ke benda-benda tu? Dia akan bawa kau masuk lubang cacing entah mana. The whole story is gone. In a crisis, communication is key, but first thing is ownership. And the best thing you can do is use the social media, but put out your statements clearly and engage where you can. But never engage online because it'll be a mess. There are a few companies who've done this quite well, right? I think AirAsia does it very well. And similarly, but my other thing when we've had a crisis is I say, humility is your greatest asset. Kalau dah salah, angkat tangan. Habis. You ingat tak? Ford Ranger. The second Ford, there was a what's the LCI? No, what's the normal term? Update.
Facelift lah.
Facelift. Kita buat event dekat Kedah.
Okay.
And then tiba-tiba masa on the media review dengan Yamin, dengan Mel, dengan all these otai-otai, tiba-tiba stuck in the water. I was working with Ford at that time. And we said, wow, this is crisis because, Ranger Splash was so successful. Everybody was waiting for the facelift Ranger, right? And of course, lah, your boss kan best friend dengan the other company. So dia dah tunggu, right? You know what we did? We said, okay. We went, the engineers came, we studied the whole thing out of Thailand. 1 month later, we came back, we had a press conference, we sat down, we said, this is what happened, this was the mistake, blah, blah. Sebab keadaan tu, actually you couldn't simulate. It was one of those 1 in a 1,000 situations. There was a backflow on the radiator and that pushed something and okay lah, whatever. We came back, they made a design change and we explained it. Boss engkau masa tu cakap, wah, more companies should be like Ford.
Mengaku kan?
Easy. Tapi, hello, just remember this. Negara kita tak ada budaya accountability.
Is it?
Terus terang, tell me, ada ke? How often have you seen a menteri or whatever come straight out and say, you know what, saya salah, I shouldn't have done this. This was a mistake by our side. Unless, okay lah, leave politicians aside.
Memang betul pun. Sebab kadang-kadang kita boleh nampak sendiri yang bila menteri tersalah cakap, dia bukannya retract. Yang lain tu akan cuba buat supaya apa yang dia cakap tu jadi betul.
Yes.
Contohnya macam tahun ini kita sediakan 20 juta untuk buat benda ni. Tapi sebenarnya 20 juta tu untuk satu kumpulan yang kecil. Dia tercakap untuk satu kumpulan besar. Dan yang dekat belakang tu, bukan repair, bukan cakap, oh ni salah ni. Tak. Dia make sure benda tu boleh jadi macam tu.
Of course.
So maknanya kita dah rugi banyak dekat situ.
The tail wags the dog lah.
Ya. So sebab tu aku pun kadang-kadang dah malas dah sangat nak buat benda ni sebabnya kita ada satu lagi. You must also understand that there's this one thing that we call the cyber troopers. Cyber trooper ni kalau kat Malaysia orang ingatkan pasal politik saja. Sebenarnya tak. Dalam syarikat pun, dalam dunia komersial pun memang kita ada cyber troopers.
Let me tell you first ni tahun 2006 around lah. Masa tu blog just started coming out. I loved it. Actually one of the thing, ini cerita betul lah. Kawan kita, Mr. Paul Vinder Tan.
Ya, Paul Tan. Dia memang start dengan blog dia lah.
Paul Vinder Tan, I invited him to the 3 Series Coupe media test drive dekat Austria.
Yep. Okay.
Nobody knew him. Masa tu, Otai called me and said, why did you invite him?
Yeah, I remember.
Ingat tak?
I remember those days, yeah.
Sekarang, mana yang those days? And the point is, at the same time, then I realized, wow, these blogs are coming up. There were all these new blogs, different blogs, right? So I reached out to them. Tiba-tiba ada satu company came to me. Oh, yes, we can review the car, but I said, balik, forget it. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because blogs, you remember, blogs, when you read a blog, you thought this was my friend, like somebody you could trust.
It's a diary lah basically.
Right? So there was an element of, then you are asking me to become part of a fraud and pay this person to say nice things about me.
Sebab ada negara yang macam tu.
Oh,
bukan China lah, maksud tu China tak ada. Jepun, Korea, memang bayar. Pergi launch pun bayar.
Jangan, hello. I mean, obviously never happened under my watch, tapi ada banyak company yang saya pernah dengar lah. Bila you ambil kereta untuk review, dalam kereta tu ada sampul surat. Anyway.
Duit minyak.
No, okay. Those are fine things. But the point with
Jom. BMW ni, sekeping t-shirt pun korang tak bagi, kau tahu tak? Ingat tak? Sampai sekarang pun.
I ingat lagi 2006 kan. I suddenly told the team, I said, tak nak bagi dog gift. Kan? I said, dia datang untuk buat tugas kan? Betul. Okay, aku everyday aku datang buat tugas, bos aku bagi hadiah. Tak ada kan? And it is clean. It's not being cheap or anything. It also shows a degree of respect. And what I mean by that is, I respect you to do a job, and I will show you that respect. You also show me the respect that I will never make you feel like you got bought. Right? So that also means if you say you want to come back and say Vijay kereta ni buruk, which has happened many times, it's okay. Take it on the chin. Kan?
Ya, BMW memang tak pernah lah bising kalau kita ni sikit ke apa. Kita akan cakap tu terang lah. Sebab you ask me, like for me, jujur tu memang penting lah. At the end of the day, people will come back to you. Buruk macam mana pun, that company marah macam mana pun, if you are telling the truth, at the end of the day, they will have to come back to you.
So I nak sambung tadi, I talked about how there will be a reversal. Kalau sekarang, you watch the trends, the latest report show, orang akan dapatkan awareness daripada Insta, Twitter, tapi first thing they do, check mana? Star, Edge, FMT, whatever. They will go back. So this will change because...
Tapi itu kita tau.
Orang... No. This is the younger generation. So I recently went back to school and I was doing my master's. So I was hanging out with all these... Basically they call me uncle lah. 24. Sebab sekarang diorang buat degree terus masuk masters. So like 25, 26. And I realised, yes, their main consumption memang ruji lah diorang Insta apa semua. Tapi bila nak fact check, newspaper.
Good lah. Memang itulah cara dia.
So that will come back, and I think there will be a revival of the automotive journalist group, but it needs to be from people like you. Your job now, like it or not, as a grand old man of the industry, you have to educate these guys.
Sebab tu kita orang ni, bila orang panggil kita KOL lah, YouTuber lah, apalah, kita orang diam je.
Sekejap. KOL lain KOL maknanya Key Opinion Leader. Dalam semua subject matter ada Key Opinion. KOL bukan influencer. KOL duduk di fakta KOL tu sebab dia dah sampai status.
But the word has been bastardized lah bro. Daripada industri sih. Sebab tu cakap orang PR sekarang ni pun dia tak tahu benda apa yang dia cakap ni. The new ones.
No, to be fair, even masa saya dulu, ada ramai yang masuk dalam PR, dia tahu produk dia sahaja. Kalau lebih daripada tu, you start to talk to them about the history, langsung tak tahu. So my advice to people who want to do comms, be passionate about it. Sebab the comms guy's job is lain daripada orang dalam department yang lain. Kalau kau kerja HR, tugas kau fikir pasal HR je, kau perlu tahu pasal HR. Finance, engine. Kalau kau jadi Copcom, daripada echo sampai kepala, semua kau kena faham.
Betul.
And kau kena ada konteks, sebab kalau anything happens, engkau yang kena jawab.
Betul.
So kalau kau tak ada konteks, you're going to be a very lousy comms guy. The ikhlas thing, I want to say one point lah. In 2007, I started BMW Shorties. Everybody laughed. They said, wow, next year is 20 years of BMW Shorties. And I'll tell you why it worked. Sebab dia ikhlas. Kita tak ambil PR murahan. And the film industry nampak, wah, these guys are doing it for the industry tau. Bukan pasal kita nak, okay, we get a little bit of sorry, but we really wanted to give back. It is probably the longest running CSR program in the automotive. And yang saya personally paling bangga that you talked about, it started in Cyberjaya, negara lain adopt. Bukan dari central. So it goes back to being ikhlas lah. If you do the right thing, not for
glamour,
tomorrow or day after, you play the long game, the return to your brand, the equity in your brand, orang akan percaya. And it's as simple as that.
I agree. Kejujuran tu memang penting lah. Sebab at the end of the day memang dia akan tablik. Cuma sebelum kita nak jujur tu, make sure ilmu penuh kan ada lah.
Of course. And no, it's okay. Kadang-kadang kita membuat silap. Buat silap tu, it's fine. You're never going to... I always tell my teams, you're going to make a mistake. When you make a mistake, that's fine. But you know what? I will really get angry with you is when you lie to me. Kalau dah silap, angkat tangan, no problem. Okay, we discuss it. So you think I haven't, you know how many mistakes I've made in my life? It's okay. Just own up to it. People will recognize you're being sincere.
Cuma jangan selalu sangat lah buat salah kan.
That's a different story lah.
Okay. Banyak panjang kita cerita dekat VJ ni. Cuma itulah, one of the reasons why I invited VJs. Nak cerita kat korang ni, banyak yang orang-orang yang zaman dulu kita tak ada platform-platform macam ni untuk ceritakan di sebalik tabir. Okay, kalau ada pun artikel pun tak berapa menarik sangat dulu. Tapi kali ni kita live dengan VJ dan dia pun, you're not attached to any of the car companies now, right? Dia dah neutral dah sekarang, so senang lah sikit. Cuma Malaysia ni sebenarnya ada banyak benda-benda yang menarik. Kita banyak menjadi, orang kata apa, we were the leader, we are the leader actually dalam banyak benda. Sebab kena ingat lah, zaman dulu dengan zaman sekarang sangat berbeza. Malaysia ni yang start banyak benda. CKD lah, kita buat kereta kita sendiri lah, apa semua tu lah. Memang kita, we were the leaders in a lot of things. Memang banyak. Dan memang, saya memang sangat berbangga. Cuma, sekarang ni dunia dah makin naik. Teknologi dah ada apa semua tu. Dan makin ramai orang yang lebih berjaya, lebih berkemampuan, lebih bijak. Competition among the countries even tougher. Lebih orang kata apa tu, mencabar lah. Dan sebab itu, saya rasa kita kena beri fokus kepada generasi-generasi muda, berikan mereka pengetahuan yang betul, beri mereka peluang supaya Malaysia ini menjadi lebih, orang kata apa, berdaya saing. Yang itu yang sebenarnya yang saya nak ketengahkan. It's not about the cars, it's not about the bikes, it's not about the glam. Bukan, semua benda tu kita tolak tepi lah. Yang penting dia ialah apa kita nak buat untuk anak-anak kita. What kind of Malaysia kita akan tinggalkan kepada anak-anak kita. Wallahualam. Okay. Sehingga kita ketemu lagi insyaAllah. Thank you VJ.
Thank you for
the
having me.
insight
It's
and
been,
all.
it feels like we're sitting somewhere in Europe and after a car review, and it's funny that we're still talking about the same things 20, 30 years later. But I think our generation, we kind of had, we had the most promise. We were shown the most promise, you know. And I think that's why we are also very disappointed.
Betul. Betul. Kita nampak dan memang kita tahu kita boleh, tapi kita tak sampai dekat situ. We are stuck somewhere. Tapi itulah. Maybe it's maybe we can talk about that in some other time jugalah. InsyaAllah. Alright, sehingga kita ketemu lagi. InsyaAllah. Assalamualaikum.